And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Irvine and welcome to episode 2 of my retro review series. This time I look at No Way Out 2000, but I'm not alone because this time I have my good friend and co-host of the Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast, Joshua Plummer, to help me review it. We record this via Skype, so if there's any lag or anything like that, I apologise, but it's the only way we can do it at the moment because of the coronavirus. I hope you enjoyed this very long edition of the Stuart Irvine Retro Review and hopefully makes time indoors less bad. So let's get stuck into this review and look at No Way Out 2000. Hit the music. And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Irvine, and this is...
And I... Oh, hello, sorry.
Oh, God.
we massacred our plan already.
Well, it wouldn't be a recording between you and me if we don't... Something doesn't go wrong in the first, 10 seconds.
I know.
Anyway, before I massacre up, I'm Stuart Irvine.
I am Joshua Plummer.
And this is, if you listen to my retro review of Royal Rumble, I'm doing a series where I'm reviewing all the pay-per-views of the 2000s. Obviously I'm on Royal Rumble, obviously now on No Way Out, and obviously due to us all being stuck indoors for 3 weeks.
It's a very, very convenient title. A very unfortunate but convenient title.
Yeah, you could say that. It's it perfectly timed it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously, yes. So we are, at the moment we're on episode number 2, and we are going to review No Way Out 2000. Yes, a one that had, funny enough, a match that was involved a cage where there was no way out. So, is it talking about timing or what? But yeah, so...
I know.
And obviously I would normally do this by myself. This is sort of my little pet project. But because, as I said, everyone's indoors and have time and need to do things, I thought it'd be cool if I can... What was it? I'll ask you to come along and we can do a review together.
Yes, and thank you very much for having me. It's given me something to do rather than sitting on my arse all day watching crap television or being productive.
or getting Disney Plus and watching all the stuff on that.
Yeah.
Not a Disney Plus guy?
No, well, I've watched all the things I kind of wanted to watch already. You know, I've got enough things on BBC iPlayer and Netflix to binge through anyway. Or another retro wrestling pay-per-view. Thank you to the WWE Network, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, apparently I heard that they've got people getting that for free. They get it for 1 month you sign up, but apparently you can get it for longer or something. This is...
The stingy bastards.
What? 1 out of 10 quid. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, so obviously No Way Out. I didn't watch this back in the day because obviously I didn't get into wrestling until 2001. So, did you watch it back then?
Not when it was live. I got it after, I think because I remember the first pay-per-view I remember watching, I think was Armageddon 2000, but I was familiar with some of the characters beforehand, so I must have watched Raw or SmackDown. Do you remember when it was on, was it Channel 4? I think it was, and they had the highlight kind of show on a Friday or Saturday morning, whenever it was.
Well, again, I didn't watch it. I literally didn't watch it back then. I only knew it near the early 2000s when my neighbours pointed it out. So I basically, I'm the most unluckiest person on the planet. Another thing I missed out on.
But I had a selection of VHSs and DVDs. I didn't have No Way Out 2000, but my friend's sister did. And I remember us watching it around their house on one occasion.
Back in the days when you can go around people's houses.
Yeah.
Can't do that now, can we?
Or go around someone's house to watch wrestling. It's still kind of not a faux pas or frowned upon, but it's not a thing that everyone obviously watches, even back then.
No, but it was more of a thing everyone's oh, wrestling, I know, isn't that Stone Cold? It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, it isn't, that's fake, right?
Oh, I hate it when people say that.
Yeah.
I'd had a boss once that didn't get it, and I don't know if he was trying to intentionally antagonize me by just saying, oh, isn't that thing? It was they all wear this tights and all that. I'm just you just want to annoy me, don't you? I think he was doing it just to really annoy me. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so you didn't really watch.
Just trying to get just trying to get heel heat. That's what
I mean, heel heat's great, but I don't think he knew.
That's go away heat, you know.
No, I mean, I still haven't found. Well, we'll get to that later. It's like with X-Pac heat.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it materializes later on in the 2000. We'll find out with more episodes.
I don't know when it came about. I really don't know.
But anyway, yeah. So No Way Out 2000. Obviously, it was people mostly remember it for the main event for the Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Cactus Jack.
Mm-hmm. Cactus Jack's retirement. I say it in air quotes. Retirement match.
Yeah. Well, we know what happened there. if you know the story. But so what you're saying is you never watched it. You only watched it like delayed on like Channel 4 and stuff like that back in the day.
Yeah, on Channel 4. I had my sister's boyfriend at the time used to record them. You remember on like VHS where you could record them, but you'd like set a certain time when you could record it, and then he'd bring it round like next day or so afterwards, and I watched it that afternoon.
Lucky. Didn't even.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, I never got anything like that. I mean, to be fair, I watched No Way Out 2004 as my favourite. Because
No Way Out 2004, obviously for notorious for Eddie Guerrero's underdog win against Brock Lesnar.
It's still one of my favourite. I think that might be my favourite pay-per-view of all time, just because it's like it was probably the only ones I can remember that I actually got on video back in the day. And and obviously I just remember that it was really cool when I watched it because I never got to watch any WWE pay-per-views at all. I had to either read them on like the WWF magazine back in the day, or I had to when I can get the internet, of course, like find the results. But
yeah, or if I asked really, 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 really nicely, let my mum buy it for me on Skybox Office back then when it was like 30 quid.
No hope in hell I would ever get anything like that. I used to have an aunt that was really into wrestling. Sadly, she's not with us anymore, but she loved The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
So when she came around, it was really cool because obviously I got to see my aunt, but also because she was into wrestling, so I was allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
So it was like
excellent.
So I obviously this No Way Out is like I like my special place in my heart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But this first time I watched No Way Out 2000, so it was fun. It was fun to watch. That's all I'm saying.
It was. It was an interesting show. It was nice to see some matchups where you'd think, like nowadays, there'd be dream matches. I'd love to see Jericho and Angle go at it. I'd love to see the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian.
But it was just the start, wasn't it? These are the start of their careers. It's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, the Hardys were in their early to mid 20s. Rock was 27. Yeah.
Even the Big Show was getting like a big. He's not the Big Show we know now, but it was like I think it was. First he came as a heel, then he was a face, then he was a heel again. So
and then he was a face again, and then he was a heel again. Then yeah.
This is where
where I'm going.
This is where it all began.
Where it all began.
But yeah, so obviously. Interesting fact, if you want to know, is this was the first No Way Out.
Yeah, I can remember this was the first one, or if the first one was 1999.
Well, they had apparently they had like a In Your House like one, but they had like There's No Way Out of Texas apparently.
Ah, okay.
But that was in '98. So,
mm-hmm.
But I just learned that today, so it's not like a but yeah, that was quite short. It's the first No Way Out, so kind of a big deal. So
it was. Kind of playing on the gimmick of the Hell in the Cell as well. Not quite the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, but No Way Out, you'd think, okay, some kind of cage match is going to go on.
Well, when he actually used to use it as like, like as not like a gimmick for a pay-per-view, just use it for what it needs to be, like a feud ender.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know, maybe it's just, I mean, for me, I'm watching these pay-per-views to sort of get why people like this back then and like learn anything of like, what we can use now.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not the same, but it's like they can still take, like, why was 2000 and that good? Or everyone looks at it high regards. So, but anyway, enough chatting. Should we get into this?
Let's crack on the opening contest.
Yeah, well, obviously the pay-per-view was in Harvard, Connecticut. I think that's where the headquarters is now.
Yeah, not far away.
And it was in the was it Harvard Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that is, but it's apparently it's big, I guess. But
been host to quite a few events by WWF and WWE.
Yeah, it looked quite good. I mean, talk about a stage. I mean, did you see? Remember, they had quite a simple stage with just like the cage tunnel.
Yeah, I love that. They went all big on the pyro too as well. So not just the Titantron ramp kind of area pyro, but also in the ring too.
Yeah, I mean, back in the days when they had to go all out with it,
all out, No Way Out. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Pun intended.
That was fun, and you see the crowd, like they look so like up for it, with all their signs,
It's you just forget because it's like you're always like, it's like when you. It's like some gimmicks you see, like in some superstars during this watching this show. You're like, how the hell did that get over?
I know.
I mean, I do love the way like when we get to Too Cool, they really milk the cow with that.
Obviously, there were some things. There are obviously some things that they tried to get over, that which didn't work. But we'll go into that a little bit later on. It's not too far along down the card. But we'll discuss that.
Oh no! Okay, I'm looking forward to talking about this. But anyway, so obviously we started off with Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho. Not the start.
What a way to start.
Yeah, well, not the stars they are now, but back then it was like new up and comers, sort of, weren't they?
Yeah, Jericho had a bit of profile because obviously he was a WCW guy. Came in doing the whole Millennium Countdown kind of era. Had the feud with China. Now obviously they're allies. I completely forgot about China being kind of manager to Jericho. Completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I was a bit like, basically, from what I'm watching, obviously because of what's Raw and SmackDowns, it started from Respect or something. So now she's helping him out.
Yes, that's the one.
So, yeah, and obviously Kurt Angle doing, I mean, the perfect, like, deluded heel. I mean, I've said it before.
Deluded heel. As JR would point out, that he's completely obnoxious.
I love it. It's just like he's only been in the business for like a year at this point, right? Like a couple of months.
Like less than that. I think he debuted at Survivor Series. So like 2 months beforehand.
And now he's they really pushed him. Like really pushed him.
They have done indeed. He came in as European champion and left with 2 titles.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at first I thought it was a double match, like where it's like they're both for the both titles. But
Unification, yeah.
But I realised that I was ahead of myself. That's the next pay-per-view. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, so this was again. It all started with the whole sort of like Kurt Angle saying, "No, Jericho's not a great champion," all that kind of stuff. The usual you're disrespecting the title because of the way you are type storyline.
Yeah,
it's quite, quite simple in the sense of. But when it comes to the match, I mean, it was just. I think it was just good length, and it was just there to sort of, like an enhancement match where both look good in the end.
They did. Going back to the beginning slightly, in Jericho, I loved his promo at the beginning as well, using talking about Kurt Angle's 3 eyes, and of course one of the eyes was, I'm waiting for it, idiot. Of course it was. You're an idiot, an imbecile, and an ignoramus.
It's like,
and there was a I think he said as well, I think, was it like a catchphrase that he did, but a catchphrase that like he never got going, but some people were chanting it or like saying it in unison, because he's got the ever, that one he did, and Be the Same Again, but there was one where he called himself the Mumba Jumba or whatever it was.
Oh, I remember hearing these, because when you listen to a lot of Chris Jericho interviews, he's like,
yes,
I guess we've all done it, because as I said, I've got his book, so still reading it. Cheers for that, by the way. But
no problem.
But yeah, so like in that, it's just like he's saying like he not everything he tried got over, and I think it was like because he was so
the crowd was saying it back. They were expecting it, but I don't know why I didn't catch on. Well, it wasn't too catchy, but I wasn't aware it was a thing.
No, well, I think, again, I like going back to these because it's like we always have these fond memories of the Attitude Era, and it's just nice to see that.
Yeah.
And everyone says it's like everything was amazing, but it's good to look back to see like what didn't work, so we just know. But yeah, I mean, this was. I think my own notes was just like it was good. It was like styles because obviously Jericho was more like sort of like the hip hop start, like high flyer with the, springboard like somersaults and stuff in his kind of style. And then obviously you got Kurt Angle, sort of obviously the amateur wrestler using that kind of style, and it kind of it said it bounced off quite well.
Yeah, Angle using a lot of different kinds of suplexes. Jericho with a few more striking moves. Kurt Angle doing some wonderful setting where he's thrown to the outside. There was an injury factor into there. Obviously, when Kurt gets thrown into the ring post, hits his back, that doesn't play a factor. But as soon as Jericho comes in and he hits his arm, then that plays a part in the match with Angle trying to work on it, getting into the kind of Becky Lynch disarm her, if you remember, and as well as the what's it called? Not a Kimura, or like the cross arm breaker.
Yeah, I mean, it was like sort of like ground, like he's using his wrestling intelligence and using his like high flying abilities, but it kind of worked. I mean, I think Angle was working on the leg as well as the arm and everything like that. But I think what I kind of liked, he said, like the ending of it. It's like it was really weird seeing him use the lion cell as a finisher.
It wasn't weird for me because I always kind of grew up with it, as his thing was always either the Lion Salt or the Wars of Jericho, and then later on when he came back, he had the Code Breaker. Now, obviously the Judas Effect. But yeah, I grew up with the Jericho finishes, so I was very familiar with it.
Just me then.
Angles, it was called the Olympic Slam, and then later on in transition to the Angle Slam. But whether like the Olympic Slam hadn't been like too established, I mean, Kurt Angle was new to WWF still at this point.
Yeah, he still kicks out of it, because obviously there was a point in the match when he obviously hit it, but it wasn't this kind of like, oh my god moment just yet. So,
no.
But I mean, again, we were talking about it. He had an interesting finish though, with the whole thing with China.
Yeah, it got a little bit scrappy, like kind of towards the end there. I was not quite sure if there was if they were deliberately doing this thing with Tim White, the referee, but some of his counts were so inconsistent. They were either really slow or really, really quick.
I don't know if this is a story that's going to bring out for the whole night, like when we watch the Raws between WrestleMania and SmackDowns. But
yeah.
He seems to be getting involved in a lot of the matches, like in a really... I mean, if we talk about the finish of the main event later, but...
Yeah.
It's like... It was weird, but...
Well, you see Earl Hebner like losing his cool with him. It's like...
Yeah.
Is he like new to the game? Was he like a heel referee? I'm not sure.
Was he on the payroll? Well, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Well, the McMahons do like the screwy refs, but
yeah.
But we're talking again. We're way ahead of ourselves, but
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think like the finish in the end where it's sort of like basically Kurt Angle outsmarted him using one of his eyes, intelligence with the lion cell, and he made him land on the belt, knocks him out, and I like the way he's supposed to be this intelligent, sort of like best person ever, but he resorts to cheating to win his matches.
Of course, I was half expecting. It was nice to see when you get hit with the title, no matter how kind of light or hard, it's like an instant kind of knockout. You cheat like that, you win. I was half expecting when Earl Hebner came down that the match was either going to be restarted or the decision was reversed. Because there was a lot of action going on in the ring between the two referees and China as well getting involved.
I think that's a perfect example of like what's wrong with the Attitude Era. Sometimes is they overbook it a little bit, like too much going on. Yeah,
it got a little bit messy.
But but I kind of like that. But since it kind of works because it's sort of it just shows that it's like all this intelligence and all this like integrity. Mm-hmm. You can't. The only way you can beat Jericho is cheating. So,
A pro though of the of WWF at this time was, especially with Kurt Angle, they had like an ongoing kind of thing where Angle won. He was celebrating with the crowd.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It wasn't and then there was like a thing in the middle where Jericho was like, if I see this guy celebrating again, I'm gonna beat the living hell out of him.
That's the one.
But wouldn't you celebrate though? I mean, if I had 2 gold, like the Intercontinental and European title, I'll be going backstage and just getting.
And if you're that obnoxious, of course, as well.
I would be if I had 2 titles. Let's be honest.
And then later on, Angle in the parking lot, he's loading up, ready to go home, still in his ring gear. Jericho attacks him from behind, and Chyna as well, and they just throw him in the boot of the car.
I was waiting for him in there. I was waiting for them to just like hop in the car and drive him away.
I was waiting for that as well.
But like he's not claustrophobic, right?
Yeah. Thank God for that.
I miss parkwood backstage segments like that. That's what I miss the most of WWF or WWE.
A lot of like backstage attacks, yeah.
Or sort of like.
When was the last time we saw like a backstage attack?
I don't know. Top of my head, just is the Seth Rollins reveal with the Authors of Pain.
Yes, that's the
Kevin
one.
Owens, but I don't know. It's just I kind of like the story of it. I like it. Like they used it as a way of like it was more story driven. I mean, because obviously the wrestling matches weren't, well, they were good, but they weren't exactly over the top, were they? Like in the sense of style. No,
they focused purely on story. It was much more theatrical, but not in the sense of that era of like a Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. But they're still characters, but obviously more athletic, so they're really throwing themselves around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because obviously the wrestling's got better, or just like more like. But it's just interesting because obviously then they don't do anything too crazy, like you've got your springboard, some like springboard like crossbodies and stuff like that, that kind of stuff. But nothing too simple punches, scoop slams, arm bars, all that kind of stuff. Quite simple or basic. But it's nothing too crazy unless you go to obviously the Hardys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but if you're going to give a grade for this match, what would you give it?
It's hard to compare because I can't think of any other matches on the top of my head. But this is a good way to open the show. Unfortunately, got a little bit messy towards the end there, but it's a solid 3 and a bit star, I'd say. No problem. Yeah. 3, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite a solid match. I mean, it was just. I think it's just weird seeing them start their careers really, like in a sense WWF, and you know where Jericho is now, and you know what Kurt Angle's doing now. So it's just it's just interesting to see that kind of thing. But yeah, I just love the way he had both of the gold. He looked quite good with the, was it Euro Intercontinental Champion or something like.
Eurocontinental, something like that. Yeah,
sounds nice, right?
So 2 belts, 2 gold medals.
Yeah, he's got
very nice.
He's like us. We're just surrounded with gold.
Surrounded with gold.
Oh God, I wish that one day when obviously if I ever have money, we need to get a belt, like actually have a physical belt.
Yeah,
that would be my next challenge. But yeah, so that was obviously started with a really good match. Now, and then obviously next match was the tag team title match.
Yes, I did a little introduction to the Dudley Boyz at the beginning, little backstage segment.
Weird southern accent. I noticed that was it Bubba Wade done some weird southern accent. It was really strange.
Yeah, southern drawl there, and he was known for just like kind of his glary kind of or like steely kind of glare, just like almost like 1,000 or 100 yards stare, whatever the term is, 1,000 yards stare. It's like, when he just loves putting women through tables. He's just constantly looking like that all the time. And like he makes eye contact with one. He's just constantly staring.
It's just the eyes. I mean, sometimes you're right with that saying, but yeah. I mean, I love after watching Royal Rumble 2000 with the top of the balcony, and I think like a chair to the face, like back in the day when you do headshots with the steel chair, and the way he just like his face. Oh, I just love that whole thing where he falls from the balcony through the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
Who was the I was trying to figure out, and this is the problem I have with the other tag team match later on. By the way, it was nice to have a tag team match that meant something. It wasn't just an exhibition. So one was for the tag team title, one was for the number one contendership. That was quite cool.
It was definitely better. The tag team match in this one was definitely better than the Royal Rumble. I pointed out in my last one. It was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. But I was trying to point out, or trying to figure out who the face and the heel was. I'm assuming like the faces were New Age Outlaws, and the Dudleys were the heels.
I think
but
so.
Then I watched Edge and Christian Hardy Boys. I thought watching it, are the Hardys like heel here? And then they had the week beforehand they had the Dudleys and New Age Outlaws on one team, and you had Edge and Christian Hardys on the other team. It's like, okay, so are the Dudleys and New Age Outlaws heels? So you got a heel versus heel and a face versus face. It's very, very complicated, very confusing.
Yeah, especially obviously the New Age Outlaws, like they're supposed to be a part of a heel faction of DX, but every time they come out, they're always everyone's chanting the whole catchphrase stuff they do. Like,
yeah, that was quite funny. It's like me and the Road Dogg who says, "Me and Billy, we do it doggy style." Not like that, obviously. not with each other. Billy Gunn, when he's got his hair like that, you look at him and goes, "Oh my god, has he actually aged?" I'm not quite sure he has.
I don't think he looks. If you look at him now, like oh my god, he hasn't. I don't think he has. But
he has, but like not so much. Like because he had that long hair like that, and then he had his hair short for the Billy and Chuck tag team.
Yes, Billy and Chuck.
Yeah, but yeah, he was. I guess the most kind of popular member, or he was used as the real threat because Road Dogg was in for quite a long time, getting beaten down by the Dudleys.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was kind of one-sided a little bit. I mean, the Dudleys controlled most of it. I mean, you had the hot tag with Billy Gunn coming in and just like doing the feign arso and doing all that kind of stuff. Just to
fame arso, yeah.
All that back in the day when it used to be the finisher, not just a setup for finisher.
Yeah. He did a really cool the week before No Way Out on SmackDown, a fame arso, like kind of off the steps, I think, and through a table, putting I think Bubba Ray through a table.
Yeah, that was good. I mean,
that was well executed.
Yeah, I mean, they did have to make table breaks back in the Attitude Era were brilliant. Proper, like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for violence. Maybe I'm just really messed up.
Yeah. I still get the sound of like a table breaking and a crowd kind of pop, like constantly popping to my head all the time whenever I think about wrestling. Like, oh.
Or headshot, or a headshot with a steel chair.
Yeah. Oh God.
I mean, it's kind of hard to watch, but it's kind of like I do miss it in some way.
Yeah, it's that sound.
Yeah, and also
I love.
Sorry, mate, keep going.
I love the sound as well. I think we pointed out on when we did No Mercy. The sound of the replay, that kind of like almost swinging gate kind of sound, like it's like that's such a retro sound. That was so good. Nostalgia overload.
No, maybe I just love it because it's like with the steel chair, because it's like back then it was just like you hit it and it usually was the end, but it's just the way it was just when you hit it, it's like the way they sold it was always awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyway, we're digressing. There's no headshots in this one. But there is a lead pipe, though.
There is the lead pipe taking out Billy Gunn on the outside, smacking him right in the arm, affecting his shoulder.
Funny, yeah. And then obviously, out of nowhere, just another 3D by the Dudleys. And they win. And
very well set up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
love
quite
a 3D.
Well, yeah, it's one of the best finishes. I mean, because it can come out of nowhere in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the sad truth is this was longer than the last tag team title match. That was like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This one's run about like, what? I've got my notes here. It's like, was it?
It says 5 minutes, 20 seconds, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of worrying. Because obviously, I think what they did with that one, it's like, because obviously at the time, like, the tag team titles weren't prevalent yet.
No, you had some really good tag teams, though.
Well, we had the APA, you had the Hardys, the Dudleys, the Edge and Christian, you had Too Cool.
Yeah, you had Radicals coming through.
Yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, if you count that weird thing with Al Snow and Steve Blackman.
Yeah.
You know, Head Cheese. Was it Head Cheese?
Head cheese.
Yeah, that was it was. Yeah, it was. If you remember, it's like Al Snow was doing this thing where Steve Blackman was like straight faced. He was like he didn't want to. He was more of a. He doesn't do gimmicks. He just sort of like just wants to beat the crap out of people.
Just kicks ass. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Al Snow was trying to be like, oh, we need a gimmick for you, mate. You need a gimmick, like, and he kept saying head cheese, and it actually got over.
Head.
Because you went when Steve Blackman was out. Apparently, he was doing like everyone was like head cheese, like chanting. It's weird, right? Wrestling is weird back then, and it's just like the things that get over. That's why I love wrestling. It's weird things get over, right?
Yeah, you can. It's great when you just watch these back. You just completely forget about like certain gimmicks that were going on. I was pissing myself laughing. I was watching one of my favorite SummerSlam 2001. Are you still there, Stu?
Yep, still there. Yeah.
There we go. Cool. I was watching one of my favourite pay-per-views, SummerSlam 2001, and it's a promo with William Regal and The Rock. And Rock's doing the whole, like, can you feel it? Can you smell it? That kind of thing. And Rock goes, can you smell it? Smell what? You don't smell that? No, smell what? And you just hear this screaming, and Sean Stasiak just runs in and tries to take out The Rock and just runs straight into one of those shutter doors. And that was a gimmick he was doing. It was just really funny. Just trying to take out members of the WWF.
But failing miserably.
Yeah. Completely killed his like legitimacy. But fucking funny.
Oh man. We'll have to get into that at some point. We have to talk about the invasion, because it's sort of like... Yeah, I always want to talk about that at some point. But anyway, tag this.
Let's get through 2000. Let's get through 2000 first.
Yes, we've still got a long way to go. We haven't even got to the good stuff. We only like the second pay-per-view. It's gonna.
No, and we need to get through some bad stuff, including.
Yes, nice segue there, my friend. Nice segue. But yeah, I mean, oh god, I can't believe this was a thing.
No.
Oh god. We're talking about Mark Henry and Mae Young and the whole they were like together or married or something like that, but she was having his kid or something like that.
She was 77 at the time. Mark Henry was sexual chocolate.
Unbelievable.
And Viscera, there's an angle where Viscera just splashes onto Mae Young. There's a backstage fight at Heat, and then this match is just randomly added.
It's like back then.
Yeah.
Done that now, just to be all over social media saying, "Oh, this is rubbish. What are you doing?" It's like no story. It's like this didn't really have a story.
It did, but it was dumb. It was just a stupid story. Yeah.
I remember the crowd. Like on my notes, I put down like the crowd. Like, were literally even like back then they were like boring. They were like boring.
Yeah,
boring.
Boring. This match is going 3 minutes and it bored them.
Because it was two big men with stories that sucked, and it just didn't. Yeah. I don't know what more to say. I mean, God, the Mae Young thing. What was that all about?
I have no idea. The kind of pros I can think of, like Viscera, like he's always had the iconic look. With his mohawk and the eyes.
Oh, the eyes. I mean, contacts I know, but it just looks like he's from like the depths of hell or something like that. He had a good look.
Had a good look. The match, look, it's itself, like for two big men, like, we weren't expecting like Spanish flies or the top rope or anything. But it's short and sweet and just like fight. Viscera, like throwing Mark Henry into the steps a couple of times. That looked quite brutal.
Yeah, I mean, you got the thing like with Viscera doing like a heel, like flying heel kick type thing. It looked pretty cool. Like and stuff.
There were quite a few. I think these last 3 matches there's been at least a spinning heel kick, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you forget like Viscera could do stuff like that. He was actually quite good.
Yeah, for a big guy. I don't miss his. He did the Big Daddy V gimmick, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
And that horrible singlet and his man boobs. Just oh god, that was just not a pleasant sight.
I mean, you could have done like Big Daddy V, but did you really have to have that singlet like that thing? It just didn't really catch on, did it? Like, why can you just not wear like an actual top like proper like everybody else? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So this was Mark Henry wins, but a bit, because obviously, was it Mae Young just came out because, why
Make
not?
the save.
Yeah. and he was just about to do the same thing to her again, and then obviously Mark Henry came back. I think he's...
World's strongest slam. Impressive, lifting someone who's much heavier and bigger than him. And
then just...
But yeah, just glad it was over.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be for the 2000 though, because they haven't even got to the infamous, birth to a hand thing.
Oh, was that 2000?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh no. Why did we review this year again?
Because apparently this was like the best story creative year WWF or E ever had.
Okay.
Well, everyone like praises it really well. And I've always wanted to watch it because it had way more good than bad.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
but the bad is really bad.
Because they were trying. It was 2000, so we had the trash TV, that kind of stuff where everything's got to be like some like really scandalous or scandals.
Yeah.
Like I think this was supposed to be like dramatizing the whole soap opera thing that wrestling is known for sometimes, but bad. This is just bad. I'm glad this match was only what was it? 3 minutes? Done. Get out of the way.
3 minutes. Yeah.
But it felt like 10 though.
I didn't expect this match to go on for too long, like longer than 5 minutes. But yeah, can you imagine this match went as long as Kurt Angle and Jericho, like 10 minutes? Oh.
Even like eternity would fly by. It was.
Yeah.
Good God. I mean, I think what the problem with this is like that kind of match you could have easily not put it on there.
Easily, they added it on Heat.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good. It just would be nicer because this one we could have been like, yeah, they need it. Could have like took it out and then that 3 minutes could have gone to the main event or the Rock match, the Big Show match.
Yes,
but
I think it ended up going to Too Cool and the Radicals because that was quite a long match.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. When we get to that, of course. But yeah, so the annoying thing about this is the first 3 matches have had technically screwy finishes.
Yeah, there's also I think there was only one face win. I think of this whole pay-per-view. I think was it one or no 2. I think, but only one that everyone cared about. So the only face wins were Mark Henry
and Too Cool. Yeah, the rest of heel wins and screwy heel wins as well.
Well, Tazz won as well, but that was a disqualification and it wasn't really a match.
I mean, think about it, a month. Obviously, we're still in early 2000. A month ago, he was debuting against Kurt Angle in a really good match, and then a month later, he's in. I can't even remember what that. Anyway, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Yes.
Let's talk about something that's really good though. Like, what was it? Now, obviously, after that, we get to like the tag team number contender match you were talking about earlier. The Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys.
Brothers versus actual biological brothers.
I found that funny because it's like, I love the way now that they're just best friends, Edge and Christian, but then they were actual brothers.
Yeah, including through onto late 2001. Yeah.
Well, the whole betrayal and all that stuff with the whole. But yeah, I mean, again, this was really, really good. I mean, what was it? It lasted for 50? It was 15 minutes, a good length. And as you said, it's like the heels. Like I think, like Hardy was doing a lot of trash talking during this part, during the match.
They were doing a lot of trash talking. Yeah, Jeff Hardy was really throwing himself around. He was rapid.
Stu does that now.
He doesn't. And Christian, we wouldn't expect Christian. His chops were brutal.
I know,
absolutely brutal chops from Christian.
It's just crazy. He's just like,
yeah.
I think I like this. Sorry, keep going, man.
Yeah, conveniently, his name is Christian because I was going, Jesus Christ.
Well, putting the intensity, man. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest. In this match, is like you could always put you got Matt. You got Matt, and then you've got obviously Christian. But let's be honest, was it Edge and Jeff in this match were like putting out all the stops?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the moves they were hitting. I mean, you had like a. Or was it a step? Was it they were trying to. What's that movie? Was it? What's that bit when Jeff Hardy's when they go on their hands and knees, and then Jeff Hardy throws himself into the.
Oh yeah.
Poetry in Motion, is it called?
Poetry in Motion, perhaps. You had the leg drop from Matt on the top, and Jeff Hardy holding. I think it was Christian's legs open, just delivering pretty much on the legal leg drop. It's like, I was wondering, it's like, how was that never a disqualification? You've just clearly dropped your heels into a guy's dick. That's what you've done.
I mean, you had this weird, you had this weird thing, if I remember. Like, you had this thing where you had like a Russian leg sweep, and I think it was was it Christian like leg sweep edge, and he fell on like was it Jeff's like testicles, and it's sort of like technically that's a low blow, right? Should be disqualification.
Technically,
right?
that is a low blow. Yeah. We saw going back slightly to the Dudley Boys when they did the WhatsApp kind of thing, where Devon headbutting the guy's groin, but this was days before the WhatsApp thing happened because I was waiting for it. I was waiting to do it. I'm like, oh, this is clearly early days of it.
Yep, I think that Budweiser advert was around about what was it? When's the Super Bowl usually?
Not too long afterwards, so around about, I think it's like late February, March.
Yeah, I think that's what obviously I remember watching that advert with the lizards. Well, like that was like WhatsApp came from that. I'm sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's too early, man. You're getting way ahead of yourself. That's possibly. I bet it comes around. I bet you it comes around at WrestleMania 2000. I bet. But yeah, I mean. Again, this finish, man. What is? Why? Was it Terry? Like was it? She all of a sudden turned.
Terry Runnels suddenly turned. Again, anything can happen in WWF. That's why we loved it, I guess. But you're watching it going, Vince Russo? I don't know.
He was gone by then, so don't worry.
He was gone by then, but it reeked of Vince Russo for some reason. But yeah, Terry was. I mean, it made the match and made the ending memorable. I was not quite sure. Was Terry the full-time manager of the Hardy Boys?
I think at this time, yeah. Obviously, the reason. Obviously, I keep forgetting that we're talking about the APA was there as well. Because the higher protection back in the early.
Higher protection.
The early. This is the cool thing is this is like the early days of the APA. They've only been like a gimmick for like a couple of weeks. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think because obviously she got put through a table by Devon Bubba Ray.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good stuff. But not like I don't condone that. But I don't know. It's like.
But what if she deserves it? What if she's a heel and deserves it and deserves comeuppance?
Well, didn't like Tor. Was it not Tor? We got Terry, and then you've got who's the one with X-Pac?
Not Tori. I've got it in front of me. Yeah, it is Tori, but not Tori Wilson.
No,
the other Tori.
Well, she got like tombstoned once, and then she got tombstoned again. It's like can't condone that.
The crowd popped for that. That was brilliant.
Yeah, but not because because she deserved it.
She deserved it.
But oh god, but he wouldn't dare do that now. He would do it, but it's very sparingly now. But not.
Well, Beth Phoenix got an RKO. And a sick part of my head went to, I guess it must be like to be Randy Orton, just having the voices in his head just going, just punt her in the head now. If you just do the punt, it's like,
I would love to
imagine.
I would love to see the punt.
Can you imagine?
Oh, god, I would love to see the punt. But anyway, again, we're digressing again.
I thought you didn't condone violence against women.
I don't sit there. I just
You wanted to see it.
Yeah, because.
You're such a hypocrite, damn it, Stu.
Oh no, I'm human. Just to anyone listens to this, I do not condone that kind of action.
You're evil. That's what you are. You are evil.
Oh, come on. Don't sit there and sit on your high horse. You're the one talking about it, yeah. I know you like blaming me for everything, okay? Like the old damage.
Well, you said it.
No, you're just trying to set me up.
Yeah, you're speechless.
Oh, shut up.
Anyway,
Anyway,
the ending. Terry pushes Jeff Hardy off the top rope, which Matt completely misses.
And then all of a sudden, like, say, what? I don't know what you're doing. And was it like, and then we had a slingshot or like was it when the throw it into like Matt was going to go and hit her off the apron, but he stopped, and then slapped him, then walked into the Unprettier, hit Matt, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Even Edge and Christian were looking, going, okay,
what the hell? Yeah, I think they were just confused as me.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously when I watched the more of the Raw and SmackDowns afterwards, leading up to WrestleMania, but they explain it. But that was more of them things when it's just a turn, and it's just like, what? Like, it makes no sense.
Just out of the blue. Yeah.
And then obviously and then at the end, you thought for the entire match, the APA didn't do nothing. It was standing there.
Nothing.
And then obviously there was Matt and Jeff was like trying to get revenge, like trying to grab and say, "What are you doing?" And then the APA turned up and got to work.
Yep. Kicked the crap out of Jeff Hardy. Landed like hard on his head at some point.
Oh, that Dominator. You know that was it Farouk's Dominator?
Yes.
My God, that looked horrible. I don't think he lifted him like couldn't lift him up. So like when he landed, he just looked devil. I don't think that was supposed to happen, but
I don't know. Was it like them kind of being veterans at the time and just showing because they were fairly newish, the Hardys, weren't they? Was it 99 they came in?
Yeah, I think it was like early, like mid-Ed 99.
As a tag team they came in. They were like beforehand, I think like 97.
Yeah, because he debuted against with was it the new
Razor Ramon? Was it Razor Ramon?
Might have been actually, but I think the first time he had like the Hardy gimmick, proper Hardy, was the when they debuted as the new with the Gangrel.
Yes.
Yes, the really weird the whole thing with the vampire stuff. Well, I remember where he got he was doing good, and then he spoke, and then his gimmick was gone.
Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't speak, people. This is why you shouldn't speak.
Don't speak.
No, that's why. This is why Brock Lesnar has Paul Heyman. He's not that good at speaking. Anyway, but just like this finishing was like what the hell? It's just like again. You said it reeks of Russo, like shock factor for the sake of shock factor.
Yeah. If Edge and Christian like played like shock, and then maybe after going, ha ha, we actually did it, and played like, are you cheating, despicable, like clever heels you. But Edge come afterwards in the backstage segment where I think it was Lillian Garcia. I think Christian or Edge called her Vivian or something. I'm not sure. But Edge just pretty much said, we didn't need her. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Your new manager, we don't need her.
Well, it was a bit weird. So we had Christian sort of like was having like a bit of remorse, like, oh, I didn't want to win that way. And you think it was Edge. It was just like going, nah, man, we're going to WrestleMania. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think that was the first mention of WrestleMania, and this was like the go home pay-per-view.
No pointing of the sign, I noticed as well.
No pointing of the sign. Well, there wasn't a sign to point out, was there?
No. Do you know how weird that looks? Just because it's a thing now.
You have to point at the WrestleMania sign. That was the first mention of WrestleMania. Obviously, when he mentioned it was like, oh yeah, like, well, I knew anyway, but I thought they'd be plugging it like even beforehand, like this is the road to WrestleMania.
Because I think we're being conditioned, that's why, for years. Because when it's WWF now, it's like when it gets to the world of WrestleMania, it's like a buzzword, isn't it? Just keep going on and on and on about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, weird. I mean, obviously, this the cool thing is this was the start of like a year-long thing where like the tag team division was just nuts. Where it was just Edge, Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys going against each other, multiple matches.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't.
I'm looking forward to watching that ladder match back again. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I found a bad one yet. They did.
No, even the one they were kind of infamous for, what kind of put their name on the maps when they had that ladder match at No Mercy.
Yeah, was that the one we reviewed, like the 99 one? Was it 98 one? I can't remember what we reviewed.
I think that was the 98 one, because I think 99 No Mercy, they had the ladder match, and then they had the cage match afterwards, I think, as well. But they stole the show. The ladder match was incredible.
God, it's just great to see because obviously, like, you can see where it started. But I mean, it was again. This match was good, and again, it's like most tag team matches. It started off slow, you know, all that kind of stuff, and then it picked up near the end. It would have been nice if you had a clean finish. Would have been nice, but I guess it's the Attitude Era, so it's how it worked back then. Had to be. It wasn't about the matches. It was more about the story. So
yes, and it was memorable for that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even got. I can't wait to the bit when we get the famous Edge and Christian with the you know, flash photography and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yes,
can't wait for that to be a thing. So, but that's not this pay per view, sadly. But I'll get to that. It's going to be fun. But yeah, now we're going to talk about the match that we thought shouldn't be on here. It was obviously Tazz versus the Big Boss Man.
I had no idea what the feud was. If they did mention it, I couldn't remember.
I think it was just a thing of just Tazz stood up to Big Boss Man, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything too crazy because obviously, what I find funny about this is like you had a thing where like obviously Prince Albert and Big Boss Man are like a team.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they were like together, and then they split up.
I couldn't even remember them being a team. Yeah.
Well, neither did I, but obviously I've been watching every single episode leading up to this, so. But it's just weird because it's like they were a team, but then they split up and then they were fighting. And then completely out of the blue, they're back together again.
Out of the bloom, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you see what I did there.
Very nice, very nice. Very soft. But anyway, but yeah, he didn't. Just like when we have a wrestler now, when like all of a sudden the team just back together, no explanation.
Yes.
This is what this felt like. It was just like, oh, they're back together. Oh, they've reconciled it. You know, they're forgiving each other, and then they go back to the same gimmick. It was weird. It's very strange. But I don't know what the point of this match was. I mean, I guess to make Tazz look really strong.
I'm guessing so. But if not, why not just have him? Unless they just want to make the Big Boss Man still legitimate. I have no idea. But Tazz pretty much just locked in the Tazz mission 1 minute in.
Yeah, and then just like
one's in disqualification. Yeah,
and it was just like a 2-minute beatdown.
It was like double the length, even tripled the length of the match itself.
It was ridiculously long. I think it was. I don't know what they were trying to prove. I mean, I got to like hit him with that nightstick.
Yeah, straight to head looked brutal.
Really good. I mean, that was really cool. But I guess it was an attempt to try and make him look like really tough. Because he can take a really big beat down, but still get up. Like sort of like like Mick Foley, you know, the kind of stuff he had to go through and still be able to fight. That kind of like toughness, maybe.
Yes.
But I'm sure there was a better way of doing it.
Surely, yeah.
But yeah, this is sort of very forgettable. I mean, the sad truth is Tazz was on his way down at this point. He's like, he only had one good moment, and it's sort of like he never really had anything else.
Yeah, was this just the moment they go, oh, there's nothing for you? So we're just going to bung you in the lower mid card?
I mean, I don't know when it's... Obviously, at some point, obviously, we're going to get to the point where he went to ECW. And for like... Because they had an agreement where he went to ECW and won the ECW title again, but was a WWF employee.
Okay.
It was weird. When I looked this up, it was strange. It's like where... I think it was Mike Awesome was off to WCW. And they have to get the title off him. But because everyone's been raiding ECW, no legit challenges. Yeah. So they asked Tazz to come back, win the title. And so like, at one point, I'm sure like he was walking around in WWF with the ECW title. But except for that, I don't think he done anything else. They can think. No. I mean, because obviously now Tazz is known for his really good commentary.
Yeah, for his commentary. I loved him on SmackDown with Michael Cole. I thought they had a great chemistry.
Yes, the infamous SmackDown 6 and, you know, Paul Heyman era. I mean, I'm funny enough watching that as well. Watching 2000 and I'm watching 2002, 3 as well. Just like really catching up on the nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should probably get on to other things because let's be honest, this wasn't a very This was just meh. This is there.
Yeah.
Kill some time, I guess.
They did the whole. I completely forgot this match was happening. X-Pac and Kane. They announced it as like kind of one of the like triple kind of main events. I guess I remember them doing a triple main event, fully loaded 2000. I was not quite sure if it became like a regular thing. But the story of X-Pac and Kane as like a tag team, potentially Kane joining DX, and then Swerve, Kane attack, X-Pac attacks Kane.
Yeah, and then he had the whole what happened was it X-Pac and Tori with the whole like what happened at Christmas type thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
poor Kane.
No, but he came back though. I mean, his return. Like, what's his return? That was amazing when he returned.
His that return in 2000 where he came in after a match with DX and the Radicals against The Rock, Tuchel, Mick Foley, and a few others. That is probably one of my most favorite returns, like of how to do a wrestling returning, whether it's from injury or storyline, whatever it is. So that and Triple H 2002, pop of the crowd, the pacing of it, the delivery, the setup was so well done. I always go back to it. Yeah,
especially with the Paul Bearer like just comes out. You forget how diabolical he looks.
Yeah, he just comes out looking really smug. And there's a big crowd pop, and then the music hits, there's another crowd pop, the pyro hits, there's another pop, then Kane comes out, and another huge pop, like, oh.
Beats the living hell out of it, like, and then...
Yeah.
The two, as we're not condoning it, but was your Tombstone story? Even Jim Ross was loving that. He was like, yeah, Tombstoner.
Yeah.
Because you kind of did
Take that, you bitch. Yeah.
Kind of stuff he was saying is like, oh, good God. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this match was basic. I always found this match, it was like, watching it, I was expecting to be longer. Like, it's supposed to be like a betrayal, like a grudge match. So,
yes, some longer-ish term kind of booking. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like, was it? How long is it on my list? Like, it's only 7 minutes long.
Yes. I like how they... when there's a lot of fighting on the outside, as you expect for a no holds barred match, I liked how they utilized the cage ramp kind of way, like throwing him into there. That was lovely.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think I like the whole thing. It's just like X-Pac didn't really get any offense really for the entire match. Really,
if he did, it was hitting Kane with weapons.
Yeah, or like try and take his leg out. I mean, yeah, like try and take his leg out, but it barely worked.
Paul Bearer, like on the outside as well, when Tori was trying to get involved, and Paul Bearer was chasing Tori around the ring, was hilarious.
I mean,
there was a huge pop for that as well.
I think, to be fair, what I found more hilarious is the idea of just like avoid, just like beats the living crap out of X-Pac. It's like Kane's beating him.
Yep.
He's like, I hate you too, and he's beating the hell out of him. It's like, I never saw Paul Bearer do that ever.
It was great to see.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just like it was just too short. You know, it was just too short.
Yeah.
This should be like 10 to 15 minutes long. It should have been like this massive deal. Like X-Pac finally gets his revenge. Like finally gets what he's coming to him.
Yeah. There was odds bit of like no selling as well. Like Kane got hit with a weapon. Then was it an X Factor or I'm not quite sure. But then like kind of 5 seconds later. Like X-Pac maybe like Paul Bearer distracted X-Pac and Kane just kind of just got straight back up.
I'm assuming they're trying to do like the whole horror thing where it's like you can't take him out. You're screwed. He's gonna get you.
But then X-Pac did a very similar thing like straight afterwards. He just like kind of automatically recovered, managed to hit Kane with the steps. Good use of weaponry and use of environment for the win.
I mean, it's unique. It's a very unique win because don't see that all the time. But yeah, I don't know. It felt like they built this up for like months and months and months. You know, it would have been nice to maybe like pay it off by Kane getting the revenge. But
yeah,
X-Pac winning, should he have? I mean, we've got hindsight now, so
I thought of like I can see him winning, but I think we got the beatdown of Tori afterwards. But I'd like to see X-Pac get a little bit of comeuppance, so whether he was going through the Spanish announce table. The Spanish announce table did really well through the show. Unfortunately, just got taken out towards the end. It was doing so well.
Well, got to use it for the right moments, man. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about a certain thing later on in the pay-per-view, but hey. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this should have been longer. I mean, to be fair, it was entertaining in a sense because Kane, like, X-Pac was getting his ass handed to him. like constant
Yes.
beatdown. But I just me personally, I would have liked X-Pac to get tombstones and just like Kane wins. But I guess I don't know. Maybe it's just the booking of like because DX, you don't want him to lose. One person's already the New Age Outlaws lost earlier in the night, so you don't want X-Pac to win as well. Like the X-Pac
and this
to lose
is the time. Yeah, and this was the time where kind of DX were kind of in control. You know, when Vince was gone and Shane was gone for the time being, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were in control. Hence why the main event came to be.
Yeah, I mean, now we know the hindsight. Well, funny enough, we can get into that right now, actually. But like, this Kane. We're finishing this off though. But Kane and X-Pac, like, I mean, I haven't looked into it just yet. But I think they did have like a match or like. Because obviously at WrestleMania, I think. Here is more of the Stuart Irvine Retro Review. Hope you enjoy. But yeah, I would like Kane to win this, but again, you know, Kane was. You forget how red hot he was. No pun intended, but
he was a big red machine.
Yes, everyone. I forget how
people
much
are loving Kane.
I keep forget. It's so cool to watch a crowd that hot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, when we watch it, when we watch it down the walkabout, like that's quite heat, you know, hot. Like sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But it's not all the time, you know. Like literally, like everyone.
It's like lots of hardcore fans in all the time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I love that.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, the finish is weird, but again, it's fine. I mean, it was very entertaining. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. But yeah. But then obviously you said if this is like the triple main event, so now we go into because they're the three main stories going in. Really, this one.
The three main stories, yeah, they're so main. They got their own promo packages, which is quite nice. If it was a main story, it gets a nice promo package, which are always good.
Yeah, they did do good ones, and then the Rock. I mean, yeah, okay, that's good. So now we're going into the second to last match of the pay per view, talking about the Big Show versus The Rock.
Are we skipping right past the Too Cool and the Radicals?
Yes, because I want to. And I'm joking.
Yes.
I'm joking. I just yeah. Nah. Well, it's what happens when you really want to talk about that bit because it's really. I think it's because we're talking about Shane. You're talking about Shane McMahon and all that, and obviously then.
Yes.
He's involved in but yeah. Also, okay. So my bad. It's good to know someone's keeping on top. But yeah, no, obviously...
I know, obviously, the thing that happened and now we can't talk about him. Does that mean we can skip past his match?
No. Let's not do that. It's much... Anyway, no. Just, you know me. Memory of a fish sometimes. I can't remember things. But anyway, yeah, so obviously, as you correctly pointed out, the next match is...
Yes.
Too Cool versus the newly joined Radicals. With we have to say his name, Chris Benoit.
Yep.
Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko. Eddie Guerrero was on the side of this match as he had a shoulder injury, but he had a trusty little weapon, a very fake-looking pipe.
What is it with lead pipes in this pay-per-view, man? That's a second lead pipe.
But like there was a second lead pipe, but they had a pipe which actually looked legitimate, like brutal with the Dudleys and New Age Outlaws. That one it looked fake as hell. It's like that doesn't look like it was going to hurt at all. I know,
but to be fair, I put in my notes like he was lying, cheating, and stealing before it became his gimmick. Yeah, it's kind of good, but it's just like the whole. I got missed that their debut, the Radicals, was quite cool. I liked their debut.
Yeah.
Like the bit when they all like all of a sudden they're fans, and then you knew at some point there was going to be a situation where someone's going to be like in their face, and then they're just going to jump the railing and just like attack everyone.
There we go.
And it happened, and it was a really good debut, I think.
Yeah. Dean Malenko like kind of set himself out as kind of like the leader, I guess, of the pack. He always kind of had the idea of the. Was always like the tactician. He was absolutely hilarious through this match. Whenever he got face to face with Rikishi made like a hot tag, whatever. He'd knock down Benoit, he'd knock down Saturn. Malenko would get in the ring and just go, nope, and just get out of the ring.
I would too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. It's very clever. But it's hilarious.
It's obvious I think the good thing is it's obvious who they were trying to push in this match.
Yeah.
Because what I love about it, they say it's Rikishi and Too Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Rikishi's, was it Fardu?
Rikishi Fatu, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously they took away that, but it's just it's interesting because obviously it's just like they're obviously trying to push him as his like big star. But I mean, cool thing is about I love the way they were in the company for a month and he went from being a face to a heel in a matter of like a month.
Yes.
I mean the whole thing with like Mick Foley and he's like they like couldn't get him jobs and then all of a sudden he turns on Foley and then aligns himself with DX. I mean that's Attitude Era 101 now. But I mean
101.
I mean again, I think I liked it with this one. It's like looking back now at the Radicals, you got obviously Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. They were the sort of stars, but it's like you still got Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
He was amazing in the ring, Dean Malenko. I just don't think he had the character that could have in that era.
Yeah, very, very underrated, Dean Malenko. And Perry Saturn was in there, of course, well known for his mop gimmick, Moppy.
Yes.
But that was obviously way, way before then. I'm not quite sure exactly what led to it and how he ended up with that gimmick, but he made it work.
I'm kind of looking forward to finding out, because obviously I could look it up, but it'd be really cool if I can see it develop.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good match. I mean, most of it's like, obviously they took out, because obviously they took out Rikishi's leg, like, weeks before.
Yep.
So it's sort of like, it was like a target, so most of the match they were just working on him when he came in, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like...
They took out Eddie Guerrero too, as well.
I would have liked that him to be around the ringside a little bit more, but I guess in just get out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. It was this match and Edge, Christian and the Hardy Boys. I kind of lost a bit of like who actually was legal.
Oh yeah, and so to be fair, so did JR and the King. To be honest.
Yeah, it's like because someone went for a pin. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that person's legal. Are they legal? Like there was clearly no tag there. They've just gone for the pin. Like, well, the rules completely different then. Like anyone can get the pin.
I think I like the bit where at the end it's like when it's like I think JR was sort of like. Oh, I think Dean Malenko's like legal. I think it's Dean Malenko and Rikishi. Yeah. It's just like, I guess, and it starts the whole like craziness, I guess. Like,
if it is, that would be convenient because it's going to finish now.
I mean, one thing about this match that I felt sorry for Perry Saturn. He got was it Chris Benoit got the stink face.
Yeah.
Poor Benoit. And then obviously you got Perry Saturn got the Rikishi bomb. He got the he got the worm. And then he got what was it that was it leg drop that Grandmaster Sexay does.
Yeah. So talking about evolutions of moves as well, like the worm wasn't quite finished off. You know, the move set was there, like the 4 hops, the worm itself, and the vocals, the whoo 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 before that kind of drop. But the chant of WORM wasn't coming in yet, or if it did, it was a little bit later on.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, damn. Well, I guess it's just like trying to keep it fresh, I guess, you know. But I think it's like, well, again, if we can talk about like Too Cool as a team, how did that work? I mean, you were basically
it was just kind of just the comedy tag team, I guess, and they were just radical. I guess they're more rad than the radicals.
Yeah.
They were too cool. They were too cool to be rad. They were the hipster radicals.
It's probably why they didn't like each other, because you were like, well, we're radical. Well, we're radical. Well, there you go. Got yourself a match.
Yeah, but we're too cool. Yeah, but we're radical. Yeah, but we're too cool.
It's in the name, damn it. But,
say it.
But yeah, I mean, again, the ending was weird, because obviously it looked like it was going to be a thing where the radicals win with the whole like working on Rikishi's leg. But then out of nowhere, just like as always with, you know, what was it? He was doing like a stomp. He was like jumping up to do like a stomp on the leg, but then Rikishi low blowed him. Another low blow. A lot of illegal low blows in this match. Refs are terrible in WWF.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I can't wait to talk about the next match.
Again, going back to the officiating was not great either.
No, they were like, wonder why everyone used to take the mick out of refs, right? With the whole like, well, they can't let like paper, you know, take them out and they're out for like 10 minutes. I always find funny, but anyway, and then it turned into a bit where just like Dean Malenko got, you know, the Rikishi bomb, and then what was it? That was it. I always forget what the move's called. Not a bit when he goes top. I don't think it's a Vader bomb, is it?
It was called the Bonsai Drop.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So he hit that, and then it's like, Too Cool win, and I was like, oh. So Rikishi with the Radicals' first match in pay-per-view debut, and they lose.
They lose.
Could that? I haven't looked it up, but could that be a WCW thing?
I have no idea.
I wouldn't put it.
I guess they. I guess they just needed some faces to win, and just like a nice kind of moment, because you had that dance break afterwards. Too Cool were notorious for, and then getting Rikishi involved. Yeah,
they always do that. I've noticed that. It's like I always loved it every time. It's like Rikishi leaves, and then like, no, don't go. And I think I like the way that sort of like they always made the crowd like think that Dave forced him to do it. Like they're chanting for it, made him go, oh, okay, I'll do it.
Okay then.
Yeah, this is why the Rikishi heel turn didn't work. He was just too likable. He was just too likable. But anyway, so it's always good to see the dance as well.
Yeah. Again, nostalgia.
Yeah, this is great.
I remember you could have in the old SmackDown games as well. If you played as Too Cool and you'd win, you'd get that dance break cutscene.
What was that? The first SmackDown game, like the first,
I think it was like the first couple of SmackDown games. Yeah, you can get Too Cool's victory dance.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I forgot. I think it was like SmackDown. The second one, was it Know Your Role? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game. PS1, love it.
Yeah. Know Your Role was the third one. It was what was it? So there was Know Your Role, Shut Your Mouth. What was before then? It's not In Your House. What was it? It was another.
No, I mean we had first SmackDown one that I had it was 99, and he had the SmackDown 2 was a 2000.
SmackDown 2. Yeah. Then Know Your Role. It was Know Your Role. Yeah, because Just Bring It was number 3.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Here Comes the Pain when Brock was it. But yeah, I miss the SmackDown games, man. We were just SmackDown.
Yeah, where you could actually go backstage and basically just throw each other off lorries, just pretty much commit homicide.
Yeah, man, you gotta love it. But yeah, I missed that game. I mean, I didn't have a lot of wrestling games, so that was like my favourite one. So that was why I played a lot, and it was easy to play because obviously you used to play the old like WWF like Warzone or something like that. And that was like ridiculously hard to play because they had these too many combo buttons you had to do just to hit anything.
Yes.
I used to hate it because it's like I was sitting there, I think it was like Stone Cold. I just want to hit the stunner, but I can't even hit a stunner. I don't know if it's like the No Mercy game. You ever played the No Mercy game?
Very popular then. Not for ages.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some point when we were allowed outside again. There's this gaming thing. Well, it's like a gaming thing where you can go. They have like all these like retro games set up, and basically you can like.
There is a place in Brighton. I think it's called the World's End as well. You've got lots of retro gaming in there. That's quite fun.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I think we're on the same wavelength in that one.
Yes,
it's like it's at the World's End or like it
is
on,
in
like,
Brighton.
Tuesday night or something.
Yeah, something like that. And you've got like Xbox, PlayStation, all the retro consoles. You've got I think like table tennis upstairs. They've got some virtual reality games there as well, and a bar.
Yes, drink what's not to like is a good combination.
Yes,
but yeah, I mean, if you have a chance to play No Mercy, play it. It's really good.
Yes, and the old SmackDown games.
Yes,
for sure.
You definitely should get them if you can. When we can all leave
absolutely.
When we can all leave. At the moment we can't, but anyway.
No.
But yeah, that was cool. No pun intended. But now we can go into the Rock Big Show match. The Rock versus the Big Show match for the number one contendership for the WWF title. Perfect example of a feud that is set up by mistake.
Yes. They did really well, like covering their asses from that mistake. The result still confused the hell out of me.
I mean, to be fair, most of this match was basically like, it was just a fight. It was just like a lot of like Big Show using his big power, like sort of like, punches, chops. The Rock just doing what The Rock does.
Yeah, there was a lot of offense from the Big Show. Earl Hebner learning a lot, I guess, from Japanese referees and just kind of letting the fight go on outside. as long as it doesn't go too far.
Yeah, because obviously just put him into the crowd a little bit, like the usual spot you do now, just like near the Spanish announce table. So it's like they keep teasing it, but yeah, I mean, I like the thing like Big Show was just getting really agitated with El Hebner, like for not doing the fast count enough, basic heel frustration.
Mm-hmm. But then they do a decision where where a heel, like when a ref gets knocked down, then they go and grab a weapon to use it. That makes sense. Or if they go to the outside, they've had enough and they keep losing, they're the champion, say, and they just grab the title and try and walk off to set up a screwy kind of finish. Just going outside the ring when the referee's up and they can see it, you're about to smack your opponent in the head with a chair. It's like, you do realize if you do that, you're going to lose your number one contender.
It was a bit weird. I mean,
at WrestleMania,
it was
that was dumb.
Yeah, just it felt like he got frustrated. I guess in the trying he got so frustrated he just wanted to take out the Rock. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, just one thing I forgot to mention, like the build up to this match, right? I just remembered. Like, did you remember the bit when he threw him through was it a glass? Put him through the Rock.
That was brutal. Yeah, again, the backstage segments. Just coming down after costing each other matches, coming down after the matches, beating them down.
The whole weird was it sticking people in the DX Express trunk.
Yep.
I wonder where they went.
Surprise, Rock's not in the trunk, and they just bang, smack with a 2x4.
Yes, I love the. But I just like watching back at that. Was it go for about another kind of thing, a parking lot thing, chucking him through the glass was like, yes, I missed that. Gives a bit more like edge and realism a little bit. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I just thought that was really cool.
I've just going slightly off topic, but it involves kind of like backstage segments. Well, not quite backstage, but away from ring brawls, because obviously what is going on in the current climate. Someone posted a video of the infamous supermarket brawl between Steve Austin and Booker T.
I think I know where you're going. So some thought it was real.
Yeah,
right?
and tweeted like this thing's going on in the Tesco right now, and people. I don't know how many people thought it was actually legit. I'm like,
no,
that's hilarious. Like, surely no one thought that was legit.
You'd be like, what was it like? Was it like, I'm sure that's Stone Cold.
That's Stone Cold and Booker T.
Nah, it can't be that.
This is like 18 years ago.
I gotta be honest, I do watch that now and then when I want a bit of entertainment. The whole segment with the whole thing, like with the supermarket brawl, and then the bit with the church. I do watch that back and then just like show how good. Anyway, it's not real. That didn't happen. People are not, chucking milk at people and putting them through stands and stunning people and supermarkets just to get toilet roll.
No. We're not that far off, but we're currently we're all currently queuing outside like the school children outside newsagents, but it's gonna be done because people are slimy, dirty heels who cheat.
To be fair, I was in a really messed up way. I would love to see it's like people outside and just something like Stunner, and just like everyone's just like you're coming out Stunner, boom, Stunner, boom.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I mean, if on a complete different side, have you seen these videos online where these people are like doing wrestling moves in like I think it's like they keep showing up on my Facebook feed where it's just like I think it's like there's like a WrestleMania on a tube.
Yeah, that was a number of years ago.
And then you see these videos.
There was a Stone Cold, there was a Kane. Yeah,
I just love it. I mean, I think another one I found where they're anywhere, like in a mall or something, and they're just hitting like rock bombs, all that kind of stuff. It's just like, I know it's ridiculous, but it's just fun to see. It's entertaining. But
it is entertaining.
Anyway, let's get back to watch the finish.
Shane McMahon comes back.
Well, you're forgetting about.
You're
forgetting about the refs.
Sorry, go on.
You're forgetting about the refs first, man. What was it?
Oh yeah.
You forget the refs got took out. You knew this was going to happen.
Of course.
And then, then all of a sudden another ref comes out. Was it?
Yeah.
Jim White, isn't it? White, yeah.
And Tim White, yeah, he comes down, the screwy kind of referee. Who was he screwy? I'm not quite sure. That wasn't quite clear.
And then all of a sudden you got like the old refs arguing, saying, "What are you doing?" And then all of a sudden just beating the hell out of him. It's just like, what?
It's like, why are you beating up your own refs? That is like El Hebner, the leader of the referees, and is like not having this junior referee or whatever just coming in and officiating his matches.
Well,
I mean, that kind of shit was like acceptable when it was, WWF against WCW and using their own referees to get the advantage. That made sense.
Yeah, all the bit when he actually had both the refs had a match. That was silly. Remember? Yeah. Anyway, but the point is, so that happened, and obviously Shane came back and was shouting at these refs for not doing their job, I guess. And then The Rock...
Rightly so, Shane. Good job.
Yes, being a nice guy. And then, I think it was The Rock. Yes, The Rock hit, hit Big Show with a chair. And then hit the rock bottom. And then he was just about to do the people's elbow. And then... I think The Rock should know by now when Shane's in the ring. He should probably... Because I'm sure this is like the second or third time in like a couple... Like, was it a year or so he's been hit in the face with a chair by Shane McMahon. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So, so on thought. And then, just like a massive, it's like... Shane McMahon always does this thing where he jumps. Like, he gets the chair and he jumps in your face and, like, sort of, like, puts more impact. So The Rock, gets taken out. And then, usual thing, the referee comes to, puts the arm around the shoulder. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then it's like so the Big Show won. I was like... So at the moment, obviously of that time, it was supposed to be the Big Show versus Triple H.
Yeah.
Not a big main event. You knew there was something going to happen. Well, we do.
No, you expect, okay, surely The Rock's going to get back in the picture, but they're going to do a triple threat match. It was like, okay, at least.
It was weird. It was just weird. I mean, because now we know where the WrestleMania main event goes. It kind of makes sense. But, like, I'm just thinking, was there, like, a storyline I missed? With, like, Shane being aligned with the Big Show?
I guess it is wanting to have a McMahon in every corner.
I mean, I guess, but... I don't get it. I mean, it was too cool because obviously, again, it's doing another thing where, The Rock getting screwed again.
Yep.
Like, he wins the Rumble, but he's got to go again. Well, he didn't technically win it, but, we want The Rock. It's The Rock. And then,
It's in the history books,
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just weird. But then it's just... So, it's weird. Again, not a lot of clean finishes here.
No, a lot of screwy finishes. A lot of heel dominance, as mentioned beforehand. It was an odd time. We're going into WrestleMania 2, the year 2000, a really good year. Apart from your big show,
Yeah, well, I think
grandest stage at all.
I think they're lucky at this year, the 2000, that their opponents or their other company also sucked. Was actually pretty terrible, so I guess they could get away with some stuff.
They had a pay-per-view WCW like 2 or 3 weeks prior to No Way Out. I think it was sold out. I don't even know. I'm gonna have a quick look now and see in comparison what the show was.
Okay, so
let's have a look. Do you have any more thoughts on this match?
No, really. It's just looking back at this sort of like. Did it really need the referees attacking each other? Did it really need Shane McMahon to come back? Did it in this way?
No.
Did it need all that?
No.
Right, so what we found?
Oh, bloody hell. There were a couple of people wrestling twice. Billy Kidman had like 2 matches in this one, it looks like. But no, Billy Kidman had 3 matches. Hold on. Billy Kidman had a match against Dean Malenko in a catch-as-catch-can match, whatever the hell that is.
Wait. Did you say Dean Malenko?
Dean Malenko. Yeah, this was like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks prior to the event. Yeah. Sold out. This was Was it January or was it February? January 2016.
It should be February then, because I think February, because the debuted one about the end of January. I think.
So Super Brawl. What was going on with Super Brawl? Super Brawl was 20th of February. Okay, so around about that time.
Yeah, I was just about to say Dean Malenko. I mean, unless he's like they pre-taped the show. I mean.
Yeah. So we had on that show. Well, Billy Kidman was there again against Vampiro. Ric Flair defeats Terry Funk in a Texas Death Match.
Oh, don't talk to me about Texas Death Matches.
It was Hulk Hogan against the Total Package. Was that?
Wouldn't surprise me if that
Lex Luger.
Yes.
Oh, the Total Package. And your main event was a three-way dance for the World Heavyweight Championship. That was Sid Vicious against Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett.
And you wonder why everyone was watching WWF.
Anyway, what was the main event of No Way Out 2000?
I apologise for the segue, but it was just it was a curiosity.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe one day if this retro thing becomes a continuum, I might do WCW 2000 maybe. If I want to.
Oh wow.
If I want to torture myself.
If we're yeah.
But anyway, obviously we're talking the infamous main event, the famous main event. What this show is known for, really.
Yes.
Is the Hell in a Cell match between Cactus Jack and Triple H for the WWF Championship. With the stipulation is if Mick Foley Cactus Jack doesn't win, he has to retire.
He has to retire. A stipulation put in by Triple H. But Triple H very kindly, even though he's a heel, very kindly says, okay, I'll give you a rematch and you can choose whatever stipulation you want, which is a dumbass move from Triple H.
Yeah, what would you expect? I found it.
If Mick Foley's going to choose the most barbaric stipulation ever, yeah.
But I mean,
he's not going to choose a submission match. You know, he's not going to do a best 2 out of 3 falls match. He's an Iron Man match. Hell in the Cell. Oh fuck.
Has he actually? Here's a question: has he actually ever won a Hell in the Cell?
Mick Foley, no, I don't think he has. I don't think he ever won a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, but yeah, interesting. Anyway, but yeah,
I think Triple H has the most wins. I think in Hell in a Cell.
What a shocker!
It's either him or Brock Lesnar. I think
I'm going to go Triple H on that one. Like I bet
Triple
it's
H,
probably.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Triple H probably had more matches for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the setup was pretty decent. I mean it's just like Mick Foley Cactus Jack was doing the whole like this is his match, his domain. Like he's gonna beat the living crap out of you. I mean, if it's anything compared to their match at Street Fighter in the Royal Rumble, that was pretty brutal.
That was brutal. Triple H leaving on a stretcher. Triple H doing the whole thing of he as kind of leader or GM, I guess, of WWF under the McMahon-Helmsley regime. He dreamt of a WWF without Mick Foley. So I was like, well, okay.
This is very dark here.
Serious to me. He wants Mick gone completely.
I mean,
by any means necessary, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
but he could have just fired him.
What he did, remember?
Yeah, he did. He ordered Rock and Mick Foley to have a match, like a pole match, I think it was. Is that right?
Says like contract on a pole match. Think so.
Contract on a pole match. Yes.
I think he just reinstated him. I think it was just a situation of like, I think it was like The Rock. Everyone was going on strike basically, and they chose The Rock as their like community leader. Yes. And The Rock was just basically holding the show hostage, and they were like, "Well, if you don't reinstate Mick Foley, then we're going to walk out." And obviously, they can't. There's nothing they can do. So,
Nope.
It was basically, it was similar to. Well, obviously, they got it from this, but when the Occupy War thing with Danny Bryan and stuff.
Yes.
It was basically that, but just with The Rock and sort of like we'll hold up the show unless you give it. So, and they obviously had to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was anything. I don't. Contract on a pole match, yeah. It's probably again Vince Russo. That's Vince Russo, man. But yeah. But the cool thing is about this Hell in a Cell match I noticed is that the door had like multiple chains on it. They padlocked it.
Yeah, whether that was Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, or he got someone to do it, or they got someone to do it. Very clever. Mick said beforehand he wanted to jump off the cell and land on Triple H. It's a shame they couldn't tease that. I wish they did a spot where Mick Foley actually climbed the cage to try and jump on Triple H, and Stephanie maybe stops him or is attacked by a member of DX on top of the cell. Maybe who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, I think I just like that because it just felt like it was very like it's like no one can escape, like literally on the No Way Out. Like Triple H doesn't want him to go on top of the cage because he knows that he jumps off it half of the time.
Yeah.
But when they set that up, they obviously were going to pay it off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, it was crazy. He had like chair shots. You had like the cool thing where like steel steps.
Launching the steel steps into into Mick Foley's face. Yeah,
that's when it all started. I mean, wonder why the guy probably can't think straight. He's had enough chair shots. I mean, you had the was it The Rock hitting him 7 times, and then you've got steel steps to the face, like the head, chair shots to the head.
For a man who at that time had a 15-year career wrestling, his in-ring IQ, not sure whether it's a character or it's him, was not very good. He was trying to throw chairs up onto the cell when it wasn't reaching. As he was climbing, he was throwing weapons up onto the roof when Triple H was there, just to grab the barbed wire baseball bat.
Yeah, I saw that.
There was that kind of gap in the cell, which was his opening to get out. It was open, but he just charged at it and just ran and just landed head first into the barricade.
Yeah,
you didn't need to do that, man.
Yeah, and obviously
what's wrong with you?
And it gave like him, was it Triple H the advantage? I think he was like proper trying to go all out. Like, I'm going to take you. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with a blaze of glory. I mean, just the whole thing. I mean, when you knew when he was going up to that cage. Obviously, we know now because it's infamous. But walking up, I mean, again with going through the Spanish announce table, it survived. Yeah. It survived the whole show, but near the end.
Oh, so close. Interesting to note as well, like Triple H's reaction, because he was celebrating on the top of the cell, obviously when that happened. But those moments of, I'm not quite sure whether it was Triple H or it was Paul Levesque. Mick Foley falls through the announce table and Triple H is just there, or Paul Levesque. They're like kind of like shocked, like, what the hell have I just done? Oh my god, have I just killed him?
Even like even JR was like trying to push it really well there when he was like, no, seriously, like someone come out and check this man.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was all in storyline because obviously the guy if you can fall on the top of a freaking Hell in the Cell and land on an announce table, I think he should be okay if he falls off like the side of it. But it's just I just miss that kind of like commentary where it's like proper story driven,
Yeah.
I just miss JR. I mean, obviously I know he's in the AEW, but that JR. But
with JR and Tazz, wow, that's a good commentary.
Interesting one. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But I think I always miss. There was a nice little line that Jerry the King Lawler said. It was like, what was it? Was it Mick Foley's brain must be made of magnets because he keeps getting attracted to metal.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure he's got like a couple of maybe steel plates in his head. He must do.
Probably lost all his brain cells, most of them. I mean, good.
Yeah.
I mean, but let's be honest. We're beating around the bush to the bit that's everyone the members though. The bit. I mean, obviously, one thing obviously had the bit with the it wouldn't be an extreme match if you didn't have some sort of like barbed wire bat. On a 2x4. Yeah,
with some matches or whatever it was conveniently placed at the top of the cell. So obviously Triple H and Stephanie did some rigging of the cell, and Mick Foley did his own rigging of the cell, putting some matches on the top.
Yeah, nice one there by Mick. I mean,
and setting up the barbed wire baseball bat by the ring announcer. Had they not noticed that there was a barbed wire baseball bat?
No, it's like very convenient.
Did they not notice when they sat down, going, "Oh Jesus Christ, that was prickly."
I mean, I think I loved it. I loved it. Sort of like when he rakes it across Triple H's forehead. I mean, when he have the crimson mask and all that kind of stuff. Oh god! But yeah, but near the end, it's like when he actually put it on fire, and I think he was going to do like a power driver onto it, and then the famous like reversal. And then he goes through the cage, and like it breaks, and
through the mat. Yeah.
I mean, that is just it's great. It's not. It's looking back. It's so cool to watch.
And again, Triple H's reaction, like, "Oh my god, is he dead? Am I going to jail for murder?" And then cut to Stephanie's reaction, who's just laughing, like sadistic. It's like, my God, she doesn't care about Mick Foley at all.
To be fair, she probably hates the guy because he just wants like trying to hurt his husband. But I mean, I think I liked the bit when he climbed down and then he checked on him and he was moving and then he was like, "Oh crap!" So But only thing about this match,
he won't die.
Yeah. I've only realized it did end abruptly though.
I think it had to though, especially at a big spot like that. You're doing a big spot and then you're fighting for like another 10 minutes. It's kind of like, well, it's like you'd be superhuman, you know. And this is like towards the end of like, well, the story was this would be his last match, so he's tired, fatigued, the body's worn down. He's taken one last big bump. He still manages to get up from that. Just one finisher, boom, done.
I don't know. Maybe just kind of used to, again, maybe I'm in condition to like, you know, kick out a finisher in a big match.
I think we are. I think
this might be a good thing watching this 2000. It might get rid of that conditioning. But yeah, I mean, outstanding. The whole rivalry between Mick Foley and like Triple H. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, Triple H. We forget how good of a heel he is, and he was back then.
Yeah, incredible. Superstar of the year, I believe he was, in the year 2000.
Did he win your Super G1?
He won the Super G1 that year as well.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's just like, I always go by the principle, is obviously, you know, from stories, is a hero is only as good as the villain.
Yes.
And with Triple H, he is a good villain.
Very good villain. And Stephanie as well.
Oh, yeah, but I think she's got the laugh. I probably got it from her father, Vince, because Vince got that laugh as well. But she's got that face of like she looks like she's evil, with like the crazy eyes and the smile. But this, and again, I like where the end. It's just like this Triple H won the title, he went off, and then they were just like, no, this is Mick Foley's moment, and it's just
that was lovely.
And it just right at the end, you can see. I think he was tearing up. I think he was actually really because you know, life it's like life sometimes imitates art. So maybe it might have been a thing he really was retiring, or was it part of the story? I could probably look it up, but I don't know at the time.
I have no idea either, unless he had like some injury, or I don't know, and he had to retire, or he just made a decision there and then they just suddenly decided, actually, we want you back in the WrestleMania, want you in the WrestleMania picture.
Well, maybe just it made sense in the story, I guess, but
yeah,
that's the end of No Way Out 2000. I mean,
that was the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to end it. I mean, that I forget that's a proper main event. Yeah. Again, we're conditioned to hate main events and like rage at main events, but it's just nice to see like a show that actually put like back in the day, like a show paid off. I mean, I thought it did, but yeah, I mean, as a show, that's really like wrap this up, I guess. What was your overall feeling of No Way Out 2000, or looking back at it?
Enjoyable show to watch from the nostalgia point of view. It was nice to see Jericho and Angle, the Hardys against Christian and Edge. Obviously, that notorious Hell in the Cell match. There were a few odd things. I'm not quite sure why there were so many heel wins. I guess they were trying to set up a lot of rivalries for WrestleMania. But a couple, some odd short matches which didn't need to happen. But yeah, overall I thought it was a good show. It was solid, like 7.5 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar quality to the Royal Rumble, I would say.
Yeah,
because that was similar with the sense of like.
Yeah, I wish they did a little bit more, because obviously being like 4 or 5 weeks ago from WrestleMania at that point, if they did more, I guess. So they only had one mention of the tag team match and the main event, which was now after this show was going to be Big Show and Triple H.
Yeah, there was going to be something, right?
Obviously, yeah.
But obviously from See We're Going, I mean, even everyone knows that at the time, because obviously Austin was out, The Rock was the start, the big face. So you got to put him in the main event of WrestleMania. It's going to happen. So
absolutely,
yeah. I mean, I again, this is great. I mean, the Royal Rumble was similar. It said you had all the really good, high quality matches like the Hell in a Cell. You had like the Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys was really like, you know, up there. I mean, there was never a bad match. I mean, there were ones you wish you could skip, but like not in the sense of just it brings the show down. I think it shows like overall quality, like both the Royal Rumble and No Way Out it was good, like good, solid.
Yes, you knew who the characters were, which is good. I thought if you're just like a first-time watcher, you knew exactly what these characters' motivations were. It was nice to see the starting point, or how the finishing moves and catchphrases, everything was evolving to how we know and love it today, and how we just remember it today, depending on if it was awful or not.
We've got beautiful hindsight, have we?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hindsight.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying watching these pay-per-views, man. Because it's just like, it just makes me, like, I need to go back sometimes just to remind me, why do I like this again?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, but yeah, so if I was going to give it, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Just like, similar quality, obviously. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's No Way Out, 2000. This show, I'll be back with obviously doing WrestleMania 2000 with my old uni mate Kyle, hopefully next week.
Yep.
You and me will be back for hopefully WrestleMania.
We'll be back for WrestleMania. We'll be doing a kind of big one-off review of both nights at the Performance Center. I just hope they do the pirate ship. It's like, you can't just do it in the Performance Center setup. It will just...
I don't know how they're going to do it. I have no idea. Personally.
How they're going to do a boneyard match? Is it buried alive? Is it a casket match? They're going to have their own little graveyard? Is it like off-site somewhere else?
And obviously with the Roman Reigns thing that was announced last night of him not doing the match because of the whole coronavirus thing. What are they going to do with that? Are they going to like scrap it and do it again? I don't know. Have they already taped it? They might have already taped it.
Might have already taped it. Does The Fiend have the match against John Cena then get a rematch? Or because they were talking around with the idea of potentially doing John Cena and Goldberg at WrestleMania, so I'm hoping that they don't do Goldberg and John Cena.
No, come on, man, you got an opportunity here. But yeah, I mean,
to right the wrong for The Fiend, for Bray Wyatt, it makes sense for him to go over John Cena. It makes sense for him to get revenge over John Cena, over Goldberg as well, because now Goldberg has wronged him. That's what The Fiend does. He gets revenge, retribution.
Against the people that have wronged him.
He changes people. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if it's like now Goldberg wins, whoever he goes against, he beats them. And then was it The Fiend comes back and he gets his revenge on Goldberg and takes the title again after he's beat John Cena. But... yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be weird, this one, because obviously.
Yeah. Or another one which won't happen. Goldberg comes out. He doesn't have a match. He calls an open challenge. Who answers the call? Bro.
Oh.
That's not gonna happen.
No, because.
But imagine.
No, because that. Oh no, because it wouldn't be the same, because it's like it needs to pop.
It wouldn't be the same. You need the pop. Absolutely.
You
do need the pop.
That's why I don't get it. I don't know how you're going to make it like a really special event when there's no crowd. I mean, I know why. I totally understand why they're doing it. Because obviously, I mean, I'm not going to fault them for that. But it's just like, oh God, it's not going to be... watching wrestling is 50, like more about the crowd reaction than it really is about the actual in-ring action.
Yes.
In some ways, anyway. But yeah. So obviously, in the next couple of days, we'll figure out how we're going to do this. Because obviously it's like basically it's a weekend of WrestleMania. And then, but we've got time obviously, but it's just doing it, we have to obviously do it by Skype and all this stuff again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we'll be back for that.
We're back for that. And also stay tuned as well for other podcasts, particularly Royally Rumble's forthcoming episode of our fantasy booking, where Stu and I go one-on-one booking a choice of a AEW wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, that took forever to do.
Well, it was all right for me. We set ourselves a deadline, then you decided to give yourself another week. So
no, because because I knew I would rush it, and I didn't want it to just be half-assed. So I gave myself another week. Mm-hmm. We'll find out if it's earned, if it sounds any good.
We shall see.
Yeah, definitely check that out. I got to be honest, I really hope I win. Because if you beat me on that, I won't be able to ever live it down.
No. Well, I expect to win, so just lower your expectations, Stu.
So who's the heel and the face in this rivalry then?
Well,
I think you're the I think you're the heel in this, man.
Well, I have the experience of writing, so
versus the guy that has none. So
yeah.
I guess there's more pressure on you than there is on me.
Yeah, well, I guess you've got nothing to lose, but then again, I can just ask for a rematch and just beat you then afterwards.
Unacceptable. I'm not allowing that. And also, we're a team, damn it. You know, we've got like a cabinet of gold. We've got so much titles. We're better as a team than we are.
Very true. Very true. I'm still going to win, though.
Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. My program I used to record this died. So
Damn it, Stu.
So yes, technology has failed me yet again. But yeah, so this wraps up. Thanks for coming on the retro review, man. I mean, really appreciate it.
Thank you as well. Thank you again for having me, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Yes, hope you enjoy. Hope this makes the quarantine, if you're listening in the UK. It's everywhere, isn't it?
If we're still alive by then, you know. Yes,
but hopefully you'll listen to this and it would make your days indoors a bit less terrible. Yeah. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, obviously I've been Stuart Irvine.
I've been Joshua Plummer.
And yes, the next pay-per-view I'll be looking at is WrestleMania 2000. I'll see you guys then, and have a good day. Bye.
Bye.